back in for some SEC action over in Columbia, South Carolina. Vanderbilt beat South Carolina 31-7. These previews, super hard to call sometimes, to be quite honest with you, especially when you have a key player that gets injured in and around right before halftime, I believe is when Lenore Sellers went down. We talked about it when we were doing our watch along with Texas A&M and Notre Dame. We were coming back from halftime. I saw that big news and I thought, was like, oh no, that is not a good sign. Not just for that game in the result that we saw 31-7, but just going forward for the Gamecocks. Lenore Sellers is just he's an anomaly, and when you take that anomaly out of the equation, things might not be happening for South Carolina. And the bald man with a white shirt with the Bussin' Boys were talking about Cocktober. That might not happen again if Lenore Sellers is hurt. One thing to mention, this did happen last year against LSU for South Carolina's first SEC game in 2024. And that trend looks like it's continuing here in 2025, unfortunately. Our big thing was talking about mental mistakes. Somewhat clean for Vanderbilt. They actually played a lot better than I expected. Diego Pavia, he's just a fighter dog. He doesn't want to be losing many games this season, and I think that might be a realistic thing. This might be a Vandy team that was just as good when James Franklin was there in Nashville for the Commodores, and Clark Lee has just really put his heart and soul in this program, and you got to give him his respect for that. I think them down the line, they might be a legit contender in getting into the college football playoff. I don't know about a national championship or getting deep into the bracket, but you know, they have a couple weeks here before that Alabama game. Then they have LSU, Missouri, Texas. That is just a gauntlet that they're going to have to overcome. But if they can come out of there with a couple of scratches, not too many losses, you know, going to Kentucky week, not taking that week off, obviously, and trying to think about Tennessee the week after, they have a legit chance of not only, again, getting into that SEC championship game, which is kind of crazy to say, but also into the playoffs. Again, Lenore Sellers not being in the lineup, I think really impacted this. I saw some opinions about Vanderbilt kind of dominating the game. I understand that, but when again you have Lenore Sellers, who again is that anomaly, he can kind of just go off and have big plays, and if you don't have him in the lineup, you're just not going to have that magic. One thing I did mention going into this was talking about Vanderbilt's rushing game. We talked about Cedric Alexander and Michaelan Young. Michaelan Young only had 3 carries for 9 yards, but there were some newer backs. Jemazel Lannister, he had a carry for 44 yards, and I'm not mistaken, he's actually a wide receiver or tight end. That was a big play there. And then Cedric Alexander helped out on the ground game, 13 carries for 41 yards. 146 total. You know, if we're rushing in and around 150 yards, you're going to be helping out Diego Pavia get the ball down the field and having enough drives to win games. And that's all they really needed to do, was just get within striking distance and then be able to have Diego Pavia operate there closer into the red zone, getting the ball in there. He only had an interception, 2 touchdowns, 18 for 25, 177 yards. I think a better comparison of what Diego Pavia is like a Rocco Beck type of quarterback. He's not going to be breaking the stat charts. He's just going to get his team into winning positions. That's what he did this past weekend. Luke Doughty, the guy that filled in for Lenore Sellers, I think he did the best he could. He went 18 for 27 in that second half, and that was only in that second half. 148 yards, and unfortunately an interception for him. Rashal Faison, I thought he had a decent game, 15 carries for 74 yards. He's definitely going to have to step up with the absence of Lenore Sellers if that continues going forward. I just don't think they are going to have that depth there at quarterback overall to be a serious team, and we'll talk about them a little bit later on when we talk about our new top 25. But it's unfortunate. We wanted South Carolina to win this by 8 points. Didn't happen. We also thought Vicari Swain was going to have a big play. It looks like Vanderbilt was well prepared in not giving him any kind of room to return anything. He only had 1 for 11 yards. Other than that, like, Vandy just played a solid game. A solid game. They had long, sustaining drives. They basically played towards their strengths and weaknesses. That was another big thing on why they won 31-7. Keeping South Carolina's defense on the field, especially those very, very lethal bookends that they have there on the line, that's just going to wear a good defense out. And then on top of that, just neutralizing whatever South Carolina had. And on top of that, there were some more than a couple turnovers there in the second half, 2 fumbles and an interception. That's just going to just ruin your day and trying to get back into a game. But it is what it is. Vanderbilt wins 31-7. Let's zoom out.